Out here in the shop today working on the JetJon. Already started on it about an hour ago, getting everything out of it. I got the seats out. Right now I'm in the process of taking the benches out because for part 2 of this project, we're going to be moving the seat forward to about here to try to get more weight on the nose, because right now, even with it trimmed down, it still tries to jump out of the water. So we're going to move this weight forward. I'm going to move the gas tank and stuff. Gas tank will probably get moved further forward, and the oil tank is going back there. And then we're going to try to cover the bow and then cover the engine and build a bulkhead and stuff around that to try to quiet it down a little bit. But for right now, just trying to get the seats out. Already got the front one out. Got the rivets out of this one. Just got to get it cut off from the bottom so this seat can come out and start working our way back. I got the gas tank sitting back here. All the wiring is out of the boat, at least out of the front part, just hanging off the sides. I got the last seat out. I didn't show any of that because it's pretty boring. So right now, I've got my vacuum, and I'm going to clean all the leaves and all the crap out of this thing so that when we get our aluminum for the stringers on the floor, I'll be ready to start welding those in. And then we'll start working on framing in a bulkhead here, right about somewhere in here, that'll cover the engine, or that'll allow us to mount a panel to cover the engine and try to make that real solid. And then we'll do the same up here where we'll have our seats mounted. I haven't quite figured out where I want them mounted yet, but we'll have a dash that runs across, and then the whole front will be covered. So we'll get to cleaning all this crap out of here. All the loose stuff vacuumed out. We'll still obviously clean the floor up before we try to weld anything to it. From my last experience with this boat welding, this aluminum seems like it might be really low quality, or because it's so old it's probably got a lot of dirt in it or something, but it doesn't seem to weld very good, at least not with my spool gun. So we'll try to do the best we can and cleaning it up so it'll weld halfway decent. The plan is to get some aluminum angle and run it from the back to the front, at least probably to the last rib here, and weld that down solid to the floor to try to get the bow out of the floor when you're going across the water. And then we'll try to stiffen this thing up. Got the first piece sitting down in there. I got it marked where it needs to be trimmed so that it'll sit down flat on the floor, and then we'll get it tacked in and we'll move on. And we're going to run one in the middle and then one up each side to get rid of the flex in the floor. And then we'll move on to framing on the bulkhead across the back. I couldn't get any sheet metal yet, so I'll have to figure out where to get that at before we start on that part. But we'll go ahead and get all the framing and the brace work done. Try to stiffen this thing up. first stringer welded in the middle. It worked out pretty good. The aluminum, I cleaned it up and it welded pretty good. I've got another piece that's going to set here, and it's going to come right to the outside of that, so it'll sit in there somewhere. Got it on the bench right now. I marked it so I can cut out to go around all of the little ribs that were already in the boat. So I'm going to get it cut out, and then we'll get it set in here. And I'll probably go ahead and mark and cut the third one, because I'm going to have 3 of them going up, so I can get them both welded in at the same time. Got the other 2 runners sitting where they're going to go. It's got Marshall out here to stand on them, so they'll push them down, because these ones are curving because the boat gets more V as it goes forward. So he'll have to push them down flat as I go. Probably start in the middle and work our way out. And then this thing should be pretty solid, at least on the floor. And we should have enough aluminum left over there to get started on the bulkhead back here. Got some angle mocked up in place here all the way around the engine. That's pretty much how it's going to go. We'll tighten these clamps up a little bit, and we're going to just stitch weld to the transom and weld along the sides. I think this will weld. I'm not sure if that's cast aluminum or just an extrusion, so we'll see if that'll weld. Hopefully it does. And then we'll weld these together. And this is where our bulkhead is going to go down from here. So we'll have this much room in front of the engine for, might put the gas tank in there or a battery or something. And we'll get all that done, and then we'll move up to the front and try to put the dash panel in, or the dash bar in, I guess you'd call it, where in front of the seats. Okay, we got the frame put in. That's still hot. This piece is welded just on the front, and these are all stitched down along the back and along the sides, so this part is pretty solid. The next step will be to build the wall for the bulkhead that goes straight down into the floor, and we'll tie that in. And then that framing will basically be done until we get some sheet metal and figure out how we're going to do the cover on this. I'd like to try to bow it slightly to clear the pipe so I don't have to cut a hole, because that pipe sits, you can't tell, it sits about a ½ inch above the side of the boat, so we'll figure out a way to do that. And then we'll work on our dash bar up here in the front. Got a couple pieces cut and welded in for that. That'll be pretty much all the framework we'll need on that piece. We got some metal today, so we can skin this with 11 gauge on the front, and I got some square tubing to build a hatch for this that will lift up this way just like it would in a bigger boat, and hopefully we'll be able to clear the pipe, because I really don't want to have to cut a hole for that. Front of the boat, haven't done anything with that yet, but that will probably be in the next video, because this video should be pretty long by now. So we're going to end this one off here. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to see what else happens to the little JetJon boat.